Bought this Dorman universal seat heater, which I'm going to be installing in this 1997 Mazda Scrum. This is applicable to any car. They're about 12 foot by 12 foot pads, so you got to put under the upholstery and then wire in your own switch. So to start, you want to disconnect your negative battery and then remove each seat. I'm doing both seats, but this car is very easy. You just look wherever it's mounted to the body, and there's a couple bolts. Mine has 4 12mm bolts, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and we're going to remove it. We've got the seat out. So as you can see, there's the cushion and then the upholstery are 2 separate pieces. And so they're attached by these, they're almost like staples. They're called hog rings. Some came with the new kit. They look kind of like staples. I don't think they normally look this square, and it came with hog ring pliers, but if you read the reviews, these are pretty much trash. So I did go to Home Depot and pick up a pair of, I guess, just better hog ring pliers, and I've had success with these. So basically, you should be able to use regular pliers to cut these. I was struggling. I've been using a Dremel, and so we're going to start with the bottom pad, and so I'm just going to cut just enough hog rings, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe, to peel it back a little so I can slide the pad kind of. So I'm going to pull this up and then slide it in here, and we want to make sure that the wire sticks out the back so it's not really noticeable, because these pads have a wire. And then there's the adhesive tape on the pad, so you'll just peel it off and stick it down. As you can see, I removed 4 hog rings. I got the upholstery pulled off the seat. We're going to slide in this pad with, you want the wire coming out the corner closest to probably where the center console will be. And so this is my driver's seat. I'm going to slide it in like this, make sure it's all flat, and then remove the tape and stick it. And then we're going to do the same for the top. Bottom heater is in, so the best advice I have with these hog rings is I pre-bend them a little bit, and you slide them through the hole and around that, and then you just press them down and they'll, close the gap and cinch together. And we're going to reupholster this. So we removed the center console. All I had to do was pull the shifter boot up and slide it through the hole, and then there were 6 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so we got this out. And so I'm going to mount my switches here, I believe. I took it out only because the bit required, the 25-30 seconds inch bit, is so big that I'm going to use my drill press to drill through instead of a regular handheld drill. So I stepped up to 1/2 inch using regular drill bits, and then I'm using my drill press with the 3/4 inch bit, so it's just smaller than 25-30 seconds, and I'll probably use the 1/2 inch bit again on the handheld and just widen it out. It is just too small to fit right now, but yeah, I'm going to finish up this other one and then make it work. So we've remounted the seat. Our switches are installed, so we took this out. It required the 25-30 seconds, but I made it work with a 3/4 inch on the drill press. And so, come around. So I've still got the back off, so I'm going to connect the switches. So each heat seater came with this big wiring harness. And so I already disconnected the switches, which are in there, and so I'm going to connect each wiring harness all together with the switch and the pads in the seat. And then what you want to do is find your fuse panel. So in this car, usually it's behind the glove box in most cars. In this car, it's kind of up under here. It's probably easier if I just show you this. So it came with this cover, shows you which fuse is which. And so what you want to do is take a multimeter on volts and find a fuse that, one, you're probably not using that much, because I think each of these seats draws about 5 amps, so 10 amps total. So find one that you're not using much and that's only on with ignition. So what you can do is, so for instance, I'm using the wiper washer switch. So I put the multimeter on it with the car off, and it was showing me no volts. And then once I turned the ignition switch on, I was reading 12 volts. So that's a good switch for me. I'm going to basically jump that fuse. I'm going to connect the positive lead. It actually comes with a specific, I don't know what you want to call this, fixture. So this kind of wraps around a fuse. Let me get one and show. There's a 15 amp fuse from that circuit, and you can see it's meant to just wrap right around the fuse, and then you plug the fuse in and it gets that. And then the ground we're just going to attach to some sort of ground that's already on the frame up there. and then we're just going to neaten up the wiring, and that should be mostly it. Here's my fuse panel. I ended up using 2 separate circuits actually, and I just routed the wires nicely, tucked them up under everything, had to remove a couple screws, and I tested it and it worked. So I'm just going to reassemble it. And the ground I used was the same one I actually took the battery out, and there was a ground spot back there. If you want any like bare metal, any like painted screws might not work. So that's it. That is the completed seat heater install. It looks pretty professional if I say so myself. Some suggestions: if you have a more modern car that has a plastic side with levers and stuff, you could mount them there. The issue I have with these is that they require such a large bit. You might want to look into getting a stepper drill bit to make the holes to make these, because most people don't have a drill press with a 3/4 inch bit like I did. And yeah, everything's working pretty well. As you can see, both seats, they get pretty hot. I used them on a couple drives today. Seems to be working.